What is going on? Welcome to Man Cave Mondays, the Mantuary podcast. Back again for another one. Let's talk some man stuff. Let's do whatever you're doing, man. You're drinking water, you're drinking bourbon, you're drinking coffee. I'm going to do all of the above. Okay, congratulations. And last week was like a slower content hiatus for me because it was a large endeavor. Okay, I renovated my powder bathroom completely alone. Give your boy a hand clap, okay? Congratulations, huh? And to be honest with you, what I mostly been using with that renovation has been the Milwaukee Fastback. That thing, that thing is the one. I don't care how gunked up it gets. I don't care how crazy it looks. None of that good stuff. Okay. So the actual smoke in the drink for today. We're gonna have an Ecuadorian Connecticut shaded Undercrown Drew Estates. I love Drew Estate cigars. I'm a big fan of not the acid so much. I was a little bit too sweet for my fancy, but I'm a big fan of. I get toast and cashew and jelly, warm spice, honey. Just a really nice mixture with this. I think this pairs really, really well with something like a Four Roses, 104 proof, easy drinker. This is a small batch specifically. You can get the regular what I'm saying? You can get the regular Four Roses or whatever, but the small batch select, I think, is freaking goated. The guy that sold me the bottle sold me two. He accidentally sold them to me for the regular price. I feel like I had a straight come up, man. A straight come up, man. Sweet oak flavor, Kentucky straight bourbon, smooth finish. These are the pairing for this evening, and I'm going to actually get my stuff lit on time. Okay, so we're going to actually get these things lit on. Hey, let's jump into what I'm actually carrying for today as well, man. So listen, I'm trying to stay consistent with the carry. So yes, we still are rocking the Hogue Deca. We're still rocking it in a dark earth green pattern. It's still looking mighty freaking fantastic, looking really, really good. So I can appreciate the fact that it works well. Let me get that in your face so you can see it. The dark, listen, mine, it's almost time to actually maybe go through my first sharpening. Like it could be. I don't know. I kind of feel like it could be. I don't know. But we do have the actual the Hogue deck in the pocket. This is the CPM 20 CV blade steel. Mine's getting worked in really well. Few things I don't like about it is the T6 screws for the actual pocket clip. Everything else is T8, but that's like literally my only complaint. Plus, the pocket clip gets loose. I've tightened this multiple times since last week, and it's loose again. That's a first world problem, guys. Okay, that's like literally a first world problem. The dark earth coloring with these G10 scales. I know earlier, Brian, you mentioned changing out the scales. Unless you have the polymer, the shitty polymer, which feels like plastic, these CNC G10 scales are scissors worthy. They feel really good in the hand, and I can't recommend them enough. And if I have it in a warranty, you can also get this in a clip point. You can get it in Magna Cut. So all sorts of different ways that you can get this outfitted out. Now, I'm not carrying anything else in the pocket because I'm in the middle of testing out the nut sack speed sling. A lot of you guys have asked about this thing. I've waited to actually to show it on camera, to show it actually out here, mainly because I want the ability to have like a full opinion about it. But let me just go ahead and put my goddamn nut sack in your face real quick. Just real all in there.
Pause.
Okay, so the nutsack speed sling is being used. It's a waxed canvas. I am a fan of this thing so far. I do have some gripes, moans, and complaints of all the nutsack products I own. This might be one of those ones that might be, I might not have the normal glazing for nutsack. I may not have the normal glazing for nutsack. I want to really get you like an in-depth in there before I open it up and show you. But here it opens up and it kind of exposes. You see there it has two slip pockets, which you can slip shit in. That's why they're called slip pockets, right? And I'm not going to go over everything inside of here, just kind of show you how I have it loaded out. And we have my multi-tool in there. We have, bits in there and all that good stuff. Now, I do have a little secret flashlight here. I'm kind of excited about this. You can see it's from Wuben. They are innovating. Okay. They are innovating. And we're going to talk about what this could mean when it comes to EDC flashlights and why I agreed to test this thing out and when are they going to release it? I don't know. I have a prototype. We'll see what I think about it. But these are essentials for me. Tide pins, because I got kids and shit. Just like normal stuff for a dad and for somebody that every day carries. So we'll talk more about the Speed Sling. I don't actually keep anything in this front pocket. I've been carrying this thing for a couple of weeks. And I've actually noticed that I don't use the front pocket as much as I thought I would. I thought I was going to keep my wallet up there, but I don't keep shit in there. So it's like, I should probably remedy that, but that's the carry for the actual sling. Now we're going to be replacing, we'll talk about some new gear I picked up as well from Nutsack, and we're still rocking the Ben Roos, the DTPU. This is a field watch of a 40 millimeter, 39 millimeter, really. Field watch by Ben Roos. I like this field watch a lot. Of course, I love my VAR, but I like the way that things 40 millimeter and smaller on my wrist. This is a mechanical watch with a Swiss movement, and I'm a big fan of this. It's just a really elegant watch. It only loses about 2 seconds a day. And if you know about mechanical watches and quartz movement and automatic movement, some of them are really shitty. Mine actually no, mine loses about 2 seconds. I think every 2 days. I've actually kind of timed mine out. Get you in there closer. So the Ben Roos has a typical field watch shape to it. Has a super loom. Very, very nice looking watch overall. Today in history, today being April 29th, 2024. Today in history is kind of crazy because I I actually miss like men men that are like Jesse James. Okay, come on now. Jesse James and the James Younger gang. Jesse James went from a Civil War Confederate guerrilla. So he was for the Confederacy. He did a lot of guerrilla warfare, and he became like one of the most prolific gang leaders in American history. Today, April 29th, 1872. So after the Civil War, he's now has his gang. He's doing all sorts of stuff. He robs a bank in Columbia, Kentucky for $1,500 and he smoked a dude, which is freaking unfortunate. I know, god damn. $1,500 in 1872 money is $38,000 in today's money. So Jesse James, today in history, he pulled off one of the largest heist in the 19th century when it came to bank robberies. He was a prolific bank robber, train robber, all the type of stuff that made him put him in infamy for all the wrong reasons. But we remember names like that. It's because of people like Jesse James and reading about him. I live in Texas. I went to high school in Texas, so we learned about bad guys in high school. That's what made me watch movies like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You know, Top Guns, or not Top Guns. Got all the old Clint Eastwood movies. So when he was in his prime time and pumping out all his, what is it, Yellow Rose or whatever, the Yellow Rider or whatever it was called, all the old Clint, that put me deep into that. I was deep into watching Western movies, thinking at any moment I would see something about Jesse James, man. So that was pretty fantastic as well. Also today in history, April 29th, 1945, the U.S. Army liberates over 30,000 people that were at a Nazi concentration camp in Germany. One of the most disgusting things that ever happened in human history. If you're a part of the greatest generation, clap it up, man, for yourself. Clap it up. If you're a part of that generation, if you're a part of the greatest generation, it goes greatest generation, baby boomers, Gen X, and then millennials. And then what are the people behind us called? What are the people behind us called? We call them Gen Z, right? I got a story for you guys about that here in a second. We're going to talk about them here in a second because one thing I want to talk about is Grail EDC Not for me. Now, we all have different things that we're big fans of. We have a lot of different things that we are big fans of, but one of them that I am kind of starting to grow a little bit tired of is companies recycling popular knives in their arsenal and just charging just a wee bit more for it. Okay, just like a tinge more for it. So We Knife Nitro, the OG, is about to come out. It's ready for pre-order. The We Knife Nitro, it's an OG flipper. I own a We Knife Nitro. I have it. I think it has wood scales. It has the bolster lock. I think it's stabilized wood. all that good stuff. It's a decent knife. It's CPM 20 CV. So it's decent blade steel. Mine is Blackstone wash. Neves Knives have actually gave me mine. Shout out to Neves. And I looked mine up. I think just the retail price on the knife that he gave me was like 260 bucks, right? Now it's here's an example of another company recycling a design, maybe getting a popular designer or someone that's really good at making a specific design, and that price just goes up. They're taking advantage of the fat carbon look that everyone wants. It has the inlays. It does have a little bit of that black part is a little bit of titanium on there. It's nice, okay? I understand that, but for $435, sir, mm-mm-mm. I know a knife is for everybody. This is not for me. There's going to be someone that wants this knife. It's trust me, I own the We Knife Nitro. I think it's fantastic, but I think for this price point, and I'm not comparing and contrasting CPM 20 CV directly with Magna Cut, but if you're trying to get something that's going to have a long-term use case out of it, this is going to get your HRC or hardness level of 58 to 60. I think if I'm spending that much money, I want like a 61 to 63 range. I want a little bit of Magna Cut in my life. Okay. I want something that's going to have a decent working edge for a long time because the factory edge goes away quick and I don't want to have to sharpen my stuff all the time. The thing about this whole Deca, this is a CPM 20 CV blade steel, but I got this thing on sale for like 140 something bucks on base and I use it for everything. So as nice as this looks, I mean, let me know what you guys think. Let me know, is this a S for a smash or a P for a pass? S for a smash or a P for a pass? It has, the, like I said, a little baby bolster lock. It has very nice accessories. The pocket clip feels really good. I own this thing. It's nice. But for me specifically, this is a P. So this is Grail EDC, not for me. What do you think about that knife? Because I think it's an interesting one. The first story I want to talk about is I'm excited about this. I don't listen. I don't know if you fight, you follow MMA, if you follow boxing, if you follow stuff like that. I don't really watch MMA. I don't really watch boxing, but this fight has me excited. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Have you heard about this fight? Have you heard about this big ass? Have you heard about this? I mean, like literally Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. It is coming up July 20th. It's going to be at AT&T Stadium here in Dallas, Texas. I'm not going to go. The prices are atrocious, even for like the sky high seats. Atrocious. Atrocious. But you know, I'm really excited about this because Mike Tyson fought in the era when I was a little kid watching him fight. I can remember being a young, like a preteen, a young adolescent watching him fight. Jake Paul is only 10, he's only 10 fights into his career, into his pro career, and he's making these big ass deals. He's completely taken advantage of his stardom as from YouTube. He has transitioned to boxing, and he has landed one of the biggest fight deals that I can remember. A lot of people are a little bit appalled by this overall because first off, I think there's some great things about it. It's going to be live on Netflix. I don't know if you already have a Netflix account or if you have to pay some extra shit. I don't know. But one thing I like about this fight is it's going to be a pro fight, meaning whoever wins, it's going to go against their actual record. I don't know Jake Paul's record right now. I know Mike Tyson hasn't had a fight since 2005. He hasn't won a fight in over 2 decades. So it's been almost 2 decades since he had a pro fight. He had a fight with Roy Jones Jr., but that wasn't a pro fight. That didn't go against their win-loss column. They're going to actually allow knockdowns and knockouts. They're going to use 14-ounce gloves. It's going to be official rules, and it's going to be 8 2-minute rounds. I mean, I think that's pretty freaking legit. I think I actually am going to carve out some of my time and watch this type of stuff. I don't know why people are upset about it overall, but I like the fact that they are really leaning heavy on this. Iron Mike Tyson back at it again. He is what, like 57 years old or something like that? Like Iron Mike Tyson, Jake Paul's dad was like, "Oh, I love." Now, Jake Paul told his dad that he was going to be fighting him, but before he told him, he was showing him some tape of Mike Tyson training. He was like, "Oh, look at Mike Tyson at 57. What do you think about him, Dad?" He was like, "Oh man, he looks great. He still like he got it." He's like, "What if I told you I'm fighting him?" He's like, "Oh man, that's tough. You might get knocked the hell out, bro." I mean, I think people got their panties in a bunch because it's a pro fight. It can actually affect Mike Tyson. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about that type of stuff. But I do look forward to this. Will if I found some cheap tickets, I live in Dallas, will I make the trip? If I go, I will get on the train and go. There's nowhere I'm driving my truck down there and get my ass stuck for 3 hours. I will take a train. Okay, go down to downtown. Actually, it's AT&T Stadium. It's Arlington, Texas. So I got to go all the way to Arlington. I would take a train or a bus or whatever. I'm not doing anything like that. Okay. Hey, so we talked about earlier, right? We talked about the generations, the greatest generation, World War II. Some of the greatest among us. There's not a lot of them left. My grandparents are part of the greatest generation. My mom's a Gen Xer, technically, and my wife's mom is a baby boomer, but the greatest generation. And then we got baby boomers, and then we got Gen X, then we got millennials, which I fall into millennials being born in 1986. And then we got Gen Z. And Gen Z is out here doing the absolute most on these college campuses, in my opinion. Now, before I jump into this one specifically, let's just talk about overall why. I don't really care why they're protesting. I just want to talk about like how absolutely these young folks at colleges, it is apparent that they don't have shit to do all goddamn day. Okay. It's apparent. It's apparent. When I went to college, when I got my undergrad, I was in my mid 20s. I already had a daughter. I went to campus, but I didn't do any extracurricular activities. Also went to a Christian college. They wouldn't tolerate no stuff like this. But I think that a lot of these, I believe that a lot of these protests, I think that they in the past they have produced a lot of results. Okay. I just want to say that Gen Z, y'all aren't the first ones to do shit like this. Okay. Y'all are not the first ones to do stuff like this. One of the biggest college protests that I can remember, it was Kent State University in Ohio when they were protesting the Vietnam War and the US invasion of Cambodia. And it led to the deaths of, I think, 4 students on campus by the Ohio National Guard. And Nixon, it kind of led to the downfall of Nixon because he, long story short. But all I can say is the stuff that's going on these campuses, I think that it's so mod, like just group mentality, right? Like it's just so group mentality. Like, I am 10 years older than my brother, 12 years older than my sister. So my brother's about to be 28, my sister's about to be 26. And they don't have this mentality. They're kind of right out that age range. But these 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 21-year-olds, I think it is probably best said what Branch just said. He says, just wait until they start trying to find or get jobs. That is so short minded to go after this type of stuff. Now, the event that happened on Kent State University, eventually that did influence the United States, but it did the complete opposite of what those young students at Kent State wanted it to do. They wanted for the US to pull out of Vietnam, to pull out of Cambodia. After 4 people got killed, they did a poll and they believe, Americans believe, that it was the students' fault that they got shot. I was like, what? 58% of Americans blamed the students for the shooting. 11% blamed the National Guard. Nixon took that. He started calling Democrats radicals. He ended up whooping uh, George McGovern's ass in the 1972 presidential election. But it also led to the downfall of his presidency because he thought Democrats were so radical. He told FBI Director Hoover to investigate. It couldn't have been the National Guard's fault. It had to be somebody from the Democrats that forced them to shoot. He wanted him to investigate. Hoover said it wasn't. And then that's when Nixon hired the plumbers, or had the plumbers break into the Democrat National Convention. And, the rest of the story, Watergate, is the end of his presidency. But all I'm saying is that these protests can have major consequences. And I don't think that they have the foresight to think about how this can influence their jobs, their ability to EDC in the future. If you get convicted of a felony or something like that because you're protesting on a college campus, and now you're a 29-year-old and you're engaged, and the female that you're engaged to is like, hey, babe, let's go get a gun. And you're like, well, actually, 7 years ago, I was protesting at Columbia University, and now I can no longer own a boomstick. She's gonna be like, what? Why? For what? Okay, I understand it, but I wish they had a little bit more foresight. Now I can't say I wasn't a knucklehead around that time because I absolutely was. Okay, I was young, dumb, full of freaking cum and all that good stuff.
Pause.
I understand how the whole saying goes. Okay, but I just not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of it. Hopefully, they stop the group and think mentality. Not even talk about the political thing that they're going for. It's just overall the fact that I think it is a complete waste of their resources to be going out there and doing that type of stuff. There's some EDC that's upcoming that I'm excited for. Wuben, let me just start my two-part apology by first saying that I think you guys make some quality products. Okay, well, I think you guys make some quality products, but Wuben, I think they're about to drop some heat. Now, one of them I know about because I have the prototype. Is it going to officially be released? I don't know. I'll talk about it. But there's another one that I'm a little bit more excited about, the Wuben G4. These are some screen grabs that I saw on Reddit. Now, take Reddit with a big ass grain of salt. I understand it's freaking Reddit. I know it's Reddit, it's Reddit, it's Reddit. Okay. But the Wuben G4, I'm kind of excited about. It's a ultra slim flashlight that goes on the back of your MagSafe compatible devices. Now I have a Google Pixel 7. I don't know how how useful this would be for me specifically, but what I would have to do is get like a MagSafe ring and put it on the back of my phone. Look at that freaking topo design. Look at that patina. Look at the patina on there. Oh my gosh. Look at the goddamn patina on there. Okay. I would have to get like a little bit of a MagSafe ring or something like that on the back of my phone. But this is a flashlight that goes on the back of your phone. I think Wuben is innovating with their flashlights. I like Olight, but I think Olight is kind of iPhone-y, meaning they come out with the same version of a flashlight every 6 months. And full disclosure, Olight sends me flashlights, but a lot of times I tell Olight no because I don't particularly feel like being a part of a company's marketing team, if that makes sense. So, every few months, Olight will hit me up and say, X, we want to send you some flashlights. Are you interested? The first question in my mouth is, well, what are they? And they'll say, well, it's the new ArcField Pro and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if you guys saw creators recently put out videos about 2 weeks ago about the new ArcField. And I was like, you already have ArcFields out. You're just coming out with new colors. I'm not a part of the marketing team. So a lot of times I will tell them no, not to send me stuff. But if it's something new or innovative, I will take it. This is something I actually think would be useful. Has MagSafe, it's a MagSafe accessories, 3 different color temperatures. So I guess it's going to be what, warm, cool, and something else. I don't know what the other color temperature is. It has a 360-degree phone holder, and it has a stepless dimming design. One thing that Wuben is known for is like just innovating when it comes to their flashlights. This is called the Wuben F5. This is what they mean by the 360 stepless ring. This is a ring right here that you can put your finger in, and you can also use this to mount the flashlight or whatever. This entire back of this flashlight is magnetic, so you can, put it on different magnetic surfaces. It's not going to stick to aluminum, but it will stick to magnetic surfaces, stainless steel, all that type of stuff. But I like that they innovate, that they're coming out with stuff like I use this light all the time. This one only has one color temperature, but it does have different dimming modes and all of that good stuff. So when I see them coming out with the Wuben G4, I'm like, okay, interesting. Interesting. That's something I might actually be interested in because it's kind of like an extension of your cell phone. Instead of having a flashlight in your pocket, it is kind of hard for me I don't want to convince people, but when I talk about flashlights, some people that don't carry them often, they're like, well, if I walk my dog X, maybe I'll take a flashlight. If I'm going to be going to like a concert that's outdoors, maybe I'll take a flashlight, but just carry one every day X is not going to happen. But that might be a reason to carry one. And then we got the Wuben, the Wuben T4. When I saw Reddit, so the Reddit article that I was reading, or the Reddit post that I was reading, it was a subreddit for these flashlight enthusiasts. And they were like, oh, I heard Wuben's coming out with the T4. Can anybody confirm? Are they coming out with the T4? Can anybody confirm? Well, they are dropping, they have prototypes. Okay. I will say this. They do have prototypes. I have a prototype. It was very prototype-y. It was literally sent to me in like just a mailer, no box, nothing. Now, there's some things about this that I'm not a fan of, but let me tell you something. I didn't think I would like this hook right here as much as I do. It just makes it so sturdy to hold this thing. Also, if you had to use this in a fist fight, I mean, you already know what time it is, right? because you know you already got something in your hand that's going to help prevent you from maybe breaking your hand, and now you got something on your wrist. This might be illegal in your state. You might want to check the goddamn stuff. Okay, you might want to just make sure it's not illegal. Okay, but the pocket clip is removable. It does. I don't know anything about. I don't have literature on the lumens. I don't know what the lumen modes are. I just know it's bright AF. Okay, I just know that it's bright AF. And I'm kind of digging it so far. So when I see them talking about the G4, it leads me to believe that it's probably a real thing because I got the T4 in my arsenal. I'm gonna do a video about it. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I've been carrying it for a while. Is it titanium? Says Mike and Ike's EDC. Um, no, I think it's aluminium. I'm pretty sure it's aluminium. And just knowing Wuben and the price point that they drop their flashlights, I haven't seen a flashlight other than like they're just over the top ones. I really don't see flashlights from Wuben over $130. Now, I will say this is I don't necessarily like the glass breaker on here, but the glass breaker just, at least mine, I don't know if it's a prototype or what, it just screws off. Now, that's how most glass breakers work if you haven't on some of them. And if you want it to stay in forever, put your little bit of Loctite on there, put it back in there, and then it's going to be in there until you get a pair of pliers. You're not going to be taking it off with a hand tightening. So if you don't like the actual glass breaker that's on there, you might just be able to take that off. And it does kind of scrape your hand if you put this in your pocket. So maybe you don't want to have it on there. I carry this in a pouch, so I don't necessarily worry about that. But more to come on that, man. More to come on that. What do you think about these? Is these a smash or a pass? Not knowing anything about them. Just like, could you see yourself using something like this? S for smash, P for pass. Let me know. What do you think about these? I think at least I have my hands on the T4. So the way it's feeling, the way it's working, I can see this as being a gun light, as an EDC light, a hunting light. It is a little big in the pocket though, okay? It's definitely for the tactical bros. Your must-do maintenance of the week. We've talked about maintaining your power tools. We've talked about maintaining your doing a spring cleaning of your man caves or whatever space that you have, whether it's a closet or I have a 3-car garage, whatever space that you have. Last week we talked about cleaning out your fridge. Did you actually do that? Did anyone clean their fridge out last week? I don't know. Did you actually clean that shit out? This week, it's all about maintenance of your smoke detectors. A boring subject, maybe, but this could be some type of stuff that actually could save your bacon. Okay, I'm about to replace not every single one because these things are expensive, but the Google Nest makes carbon monoxide and smoke detectors that synchronize with your phone, right? So this is the Google Nest smoke detector. So there's a few strategic places in my house. I'm going to put 3 of these. I've already installed one and I brought one out here so I can just show you what it looks like. This thing is fantastic. It actually illuminates. So it has a motion detector around it. So when you're approaching it, and it's dead at night, it actually illuminates in this light green color. So it lights your path a little bit. I love these things. Things are fantastic. But these things are like $150, right? But this is a fantastic option. I want you guys to go through, test your smoke detectors, check your actual to make sure the batteries are working, make sure that they're running, see if they're talking to one another. What does that mean? To push the button to see if when you push the button, does it make the other smoke detectors go off? Now, a budget option for you, I say budget because I believe that at least one or two, okay, I believe that at least one or two of your smoke detectors in your house should also be a carbon monoxide alarm because you can't smell it. You can't tell, you know what I'm saying? So you need to absolutely make sure that you think about something like this. Accent sent this out to me. I'm going to install this in the hallway between my little kid's room. And I want to test this out and see the functionality of this thing. This is called the Xsense SC01, not sponsored, but it is something that I think is interesting. It detects both smoke and carbon monoxide levels. It has an LCD screen. I think it has an app. I hope it has an app. But this is something that I really want to I really advocate that you actually have safety gear, you have safety products, you have stuff around your space that makes things safer for everybody, okay? Like I really want you to, I advocate that type of stuff just to make sure that you are doing that type of maintenance. So this week, The maintenance of the week is smoke detectors, smoke alarms. It's super boring, but super freaking critical. Okay. Let me do a little bit of some new items that I'm looking forward to. I talked about some upcoming EDC items that I'm looking forward to overall for that are going to be coming out soon. Some of them for pre-order, some of them aren't even released yet, some of them still in prototype, all of that. But there's some new stuff that I'm looking forward to maybe featuring on the channel, maybe not. We'll just see how it goes. Some of the stuff was sent to me. I'll let you know if I bought it or if it was sent to me or whatever. So Phoenix reached out to me. Phoenix sent me the PD36R. This is the PD36R with the combination of the Echo 03R version 2. Mouthful. So I haven't unboxed it yet. So when Phoenix reached out to me, they said, "Hey, can we send you a flashlight X? You don't have to do a review. We just want to see what you think about it." And they said, "Well, what would you be interested in? We can send you one of our new flagships, which is the PD36R." Well, I said, no offense, Phoenix, but I own the PD35R. What's the difference?" And they were like, "Well, there's a lot of complaints that people had about the tail switch placement and the side switch placement. So they have this new one here, which, I don't, my 36R is in one of my bags right now, but I like the fact that they're offering it as a combination, which might be something that you're interested in, because this is something you can use as a tactical light. And then you can use the smaller light, I guess, as an EDC light, under the couch light. So Phoenix was at Blade, Texas, and I saw them there and I thought, okay, this thing is freaking humongous. God dang, Lee, that is a big boy.
Pause.
Okay, it's a big one. All right, so I can see one immediate improvement over the PD35R. So the PD35R, when you turn it on, I think that there's a switch right here that you have to use to go through the light modes. This one has both switches at the rear. This makes a lot more sense if you're a security guard or if you have gloves on. I need a big old switch in the back that I can just click and go through the different modes. And this is a big flashlight. I'm assuming it's using a 21700. A flashlight this big, maybe it's using an 18650. No, it's using a 21700. So yeah, it's using a big boy. A big boy actual battery in there, 5,000 milliamp hour battery. So I will probably use this on my rucking just to see how it lights up. I don't really have any upcoming testing opportunities. I mean, it is turkey season. Maybe I'll get to go turkey hunting. But what I'm most excited about is this little we're going to call it the EOS 3RV2. This little baby. It's a little, look, it fits in the palm of my hand. It's about the size of my pinky finger. Okay. That's a small little flashlight. Now it does have a lanyard hole because they do want you to carry this on a keychain. No pocket clip, nothing like that. It looks like the battery's internal and it's a USB Type-C recharging on there. This might be, so press 3 seconds, it says. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Nice. So this might be an interesting, and it goes through different light modes. I think it's pretty freaking bright. I will have to read the specs on this, but this is something that I'm actually might check out. Okay, so Phoenix, we can appreciate stuff like this. This thing goes up to 2,800 lumens for the turbo mode. Strobe mode is 2,500 lumens. The working mode is 350 lumens. This is more lumens I need I don't need this many lumens in my everyday life. I don't, but I can appreciate those specs. This is the Asprex. Is that how they pronounce it? My bad. The AX60 air compressor. I'm not even going to open it. I can just tell you that it's pretty standard Chinese made air compressor. This is going to be good for your inflating your basketballs, your footballs. Keeping one of these in your vehicle, inflate your car tires, your vehicle tires. That's what I like to use these for. I have air tanks on my truck, but this makes a lot of sense for me to just be able to keep this and inflate tires on the go. Let's see how much this thing costs, because I don't even know if this is for me, these things are such a dime a dozen. One thing I want them to have is a good battery. I kind of want them to have a flashlight because it makes it easy to find the actual, if you're trying to hook this to a bike tire, it's nice to have a flashlight already hooked up into it. I don't know if this one has one. I don't see specs that indicates it has a flashlight, but let's just look it up. Field trip. Let's see if this has a flashlight on it and how much it is, because this could be a recommendation or it might not be. So this thing is coming in at $49.99. That's an interesting price. And it's 40% off. Are you what? Hold up. It's $49.99. It's 40% off. That's going to get you an additional $20 off. Okay, that sounds a lot more interesting at 29 bucks, right? Let's see the price history of this thing. So it was 99 bucks. I don't know who was paying that amount. So it was 79 bucks and I guess it's just dropped down to 49 bucks recently. Okay, that makes this a lot more interesting. It does have 4.8 stars out of 20 reviews. Let's see if these reviews are real or if these are paid. Okay, so this guy got a free product. This guy got a free product. Everybody got free products. All right, but usually if you're a heavy Amazon reviewer, they will send you a free product. And I like the fact that they disclose it. But here you go. Inflating a downed tire. I don't know if he deflated that for the reviewer or what. But that makes this a lot more interesting at 29 bucks. I think that's a lot easier to swallow at 29 bucks. Okay. So guys, I'm doing a build out of my truck. Okay. And I am really wanting to show you guys how you can do a load out of your truck. And it doesn't have to be the newest of everything. One of my biggest complaints about YouTube is that when people try to tell you the gear that you should have, a lot of times they always show you the newest and the greatest of the baseline. So it's, no offense to Last Line of Defense or to Talon Sire or whatever, but they have the 2024 Toyota Tundras and they have the newest of everything. I want to show you what you can do with something that's already old. I got a 2015 GMC Sierra. Okay, I'm doing a fresh build on that. I did reach out to Torque Strap, and I told them, hey, can you send me a set of your Torque Strap compression straps, because I oftentimes carry e-bikes in the bed of my truck. I oftentimes carry I will carry just all sorts of stuff in the back of my truck. And my ratchets work, but I really want to see what is up with all this heavy duty integrated springs in their ratchet straps. And maybe I shouldn't call it a ratchet strap. They call it a torque strap. So I reached out to them. I told them, hey guys, I want to use your straps exclusively for anything that weighs, within that weight limit. If I'm dragging a floor scraper, right? I had to have a floor scraper on my truck a couple last year, and there's no way I could use this on a floor scraper. I have to use chains on some shit like that, right? But this seems like a very interesting solution. Have you guys ever heard of this company at all? I feel like that they are really trying to innovate when they come to stuff like that. So let me see if I do have this video here. Yeah, I got this floor scraper that's getting loaded up. Hold on. No, this isn't it. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me find it. Because I had to load a floor scraper into the bed of my truck. And I had to load that thing down with chains. So there's no way that I don't have that picture. But nonetheless, there's no way that this thing can hold like, a 5,000 pound floor scraper that you use to like scrape up floors or anything like that. But I'm interested in it. So they sent this out to me. They also sent me some that are already unpackaged. And so this is what that integrated spring looks like. It actually looks very interesting. It's like a strap that I've never seen before. Do you guys use traditional ratchet straps in your trucks or whatever? I want to test this out with my e-bikes, with any other gear that I'm carrying, on top of my my tonneau cover itself. Just different options to see, does this make sense, or am I completely crazy for even wanting to try it out? Does it make sense, or am I completely crazy for wanting to try it out? That's something that I don't know. I told them, hey, send it out. Let's see what you're working with. We're going to test that out. So that'll be a part of some upcoming builds for the bed of my truck. So look forward to that as well. So a lot of different things coming up. I got a lot of other like flashlights. Oh, here it is right here. So this is I one of my favorite things about the Diamondback HD cover. I guess this is applicable to the flip top and the SD version as well, as this the tie down straps. I don't need to buy any additional accessories to throw one of my e-bikes up here and take it somewhere specifically and not have to worry about buying a hitch cover or something like that. Just throw it. This I'm using traditional ratchet straps. Let me tell you something. When I was making this Instagram reel, I had to drive. I think I drove like 20 miles, and I left my truck to get the TPMS sensors changed out, right? Because I don't have the ability to break the bead of my tires and change out the sensors myself. So I said, I'm going to go to a further discount tire than the one closest to my house. And I'm going to ride my bike back, and I'm going to ride my bike back up there. Driving there, I was so like nervous that the ratchet straps were going to loosen themselves. This is what made me reach out to Torque Strap. When I saw that they had a better solution for holding down stuff like this on the bed of your truck or inside your truck, I said, yeah, this might be the way to go. So we're going to be trying them out as well, man. Get you some content on that as well. So that's some upcoming items that I received. Hey guys, appreciate y'all stopping by for another Man Cave Monday Mantuary podcast. A lot of places you could have went, but for some reason you stopped by here, and I appreciate stuff like that. If this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe channel. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, I'm not talking to you. Okay. You've already done what I need you to do. And I appreciate that as well. We will speak soon.